Hi everyone, and welcome to the Managerial Accounting course project. In this video, we're going to cover week 4, which is our job order costing. This is where we're actually going to put into practice everything that we've read during the week, and the discussion questions and everything else is all going to come together so that we can actually begin to accumulate cost for our product. So again, the points are 12 points, and you can see that there are 4 jobs, so you can guess that each job is worth 3 points. And what you need to do is you need to accumulate costs for each one of these jobs. The scenario is that it's January 15th of 2025. You're not really ready to open a brick and mortar bakery, but you think you can handle some catering. During your first month, you receive 4 orders, and we see them down here. You're going to use the following schedule right here to determine how much of the raw materials you need to make each dozen cupcake. So it takes you 60 minutes to mix, bake, cool, and ice 2 dozen cupcakes. And you can only cook 2 dozen cupcakes at one time because that's all your oven can handle. Okay, so let's start with job number 1. In job number 1, you have 2 dozen vanilla cupcakes with white icing. So you need to gather all of the cost associated with the materials and lay it in here. So again, you can use your calculator to work these calculations, or you can get Excel to do it for you. So I'm going to get Excel to do it for me. I'm going to open it up with an equal sign. And I have 2 dozen cupcakes, right? So I know that for the flour, I have half a pound per dozen, and I'm going to multiply that by the cost. But then it's 2 dozen cupcakes, so I have to multiply this by 2 because this is all based on 1 dozen, right? So I'm just going to multiply this by 2. And it gives me the answer of 225. Now, most of us can, in our head, just go ahead and do that calculation pretty quickly because we see that it's half a pound, but I do encourage you to go through the steps. As we get further into the jobs, you'll see that we've got 3 dozen, so it makes it a little bit more challenging. Not impossible, though. If you don't like that long formula that we just typed in, then you can do some interim calculations. And so what I'm going to do here is some interim calculations. I'm basically going to calculate the cost of 1 dozen of materials for 1 dozen cupcakes. So again, opening it up with equals, I'm going to pick up my half a pound and I'm going to multiply it by my cost per pound. And we know that for each dozen cupcakes, it's $1.13 for our flour. Now I can repeat that formula that I just did. I can type it in, equals this times this. There's another way to make it easy. You can also use the copy function and come down here and paste it. And then there's a really easy way. I just grab this corner right here and drag it down. There you go. So again, it's not a math class. It's really about getting the tools around you to do the easy work, and then your job as an accountant becomes evaluating the impacts of all of these changes. Okay, so now we have our interim calculation. We can come over here, and actually I'm going to pick the 1 dozen, or no, let's go 3 dozen. I'll pick the 3 dozen. And again, we're going to do the flour, so I'm just going to take my interim calculation for flour, and I'm going to multiply it by 3. There you go. At the bottom of this, it's going to ask you for your total cost. So that's going to be the total cost for everything that's in this formula. So let's just say that, this is $2 and that's $3. And then we get down here to our overhead and we decide that it's $5. We want to total the cost. Again, you can use your calculator or you can use Excel. I'm going to equals, and then I'm going to type in sum, and I'm going to open up my parentheses, And then I'm just going to drag this information. I've blocked it off, and it gives me my total cost. Now we need to look at our customer price. Where is our customer price? It's up here. So our selling price per dozen cupcakes is 20 bucks. Our overhead cost is $2.75, and you saw that we were looking at overhead cost down here. And our labor cost per hour is $15, and so you'll also fill this labor out. But the customer price, we can either type it in, or I can reference this number right here. But then we want to take the profit loss. So I know that I took in $20, and I have to subtract out how much it cost to make those cupcakes. So my profit loss is $6.63. And again, you can see that I haven't actually completed the job, so we know that the $6.63 is incorrect, but this gives you an idea of how to complete this tab. All right, thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.